We are live.
In your face, all over the place. We're online.
Every race week.
You're listening to the
Pitboard discussions.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, boys and girls, welcome to yet another review from the Pitboard discussions. And tonight we are reviewing the just concluded Las Vegas GP. So, to my right, representing Red Bull Oracle, weighing in 285 pounds, the less troublesome Dan.
Yeah, Vegas, baby.
On the red corner.
And on the blue corner. Also from Red Bull Oracle, weighing in 275 pounds, representing Red Bull Oracle. He is none other than the majestic, the imperial, the man with the stats himself, Mr. No Cap, Muchiri. And with that, let's kick off our night. Let's get ready to rumble. Let's get ready to talk about Vegas, baby. We have much to talk about. Vegas was a blast. As usual, I'm your host, Ace, the trouble man himself. Twice as nice, smooth as ice, never had a bad day in my life. It's actually smooth as ice, twice as nice, never had a bad day in my life. You're intro yenyu imenikoroga. But hey, here we are. We're talking about Vegas. And first things first. The guys who were against the Vegas GP before it was actually held. Apologies are being, tuna receive apologies right now. On behalf of the FIA, we are receiving the apologies. Leave your apologies on the comment section. We'll also leave, for the guys who are listening from the podcast, we'll leave a section for you whereby you can vote your apology. Yeah, you can vote your apology because it was a fucking success. Sorry for the language, but it was a success.
My G, are you still high from Vegas?
Yeah. It was shuki, man.
Of Charles.
As a shuki. Anyway, you guys, bana, karibuni. Mnasema.
Thank you, sir.
Your thoughts on Vegas?
Vegas. It was an exciting race.
The controversial weekend.
Well, for me, it wasn't really. Before FP1, it wasn't controversial, but it was this one race in the calendar where I think majority of us, if not all of us, we were looking forward to seeing how it will turn out to be.
Hey. You unajazia watu wengine. Remember, a lot of the guys were against Vegas. Mimi na wewe tulikuwa for it, but a lot of the guys were against it.
I don't remember.
Who
is for it?
Hey, listen, we were so for it. We actually raced at Vegas. You remember, we were so looking forward to Vegas, the new track. Hey, it's for the love of the sport. But guys, for some reason, we are seen as anti the sport. Guys who were rooting for Vegas. For some reason, we are anti the sport, but we were for the sport. Because if you ask me, why were you looking forward to Vegas? The new track, it looks amazing. And I have something controversial to say about the track. What Monaco was to the previous generation of Formula 1 cars, the older generation of Formula 1 cars, is what Vegas could be for these modern cars. With the size and how the track layout looks and how wide it is, accommodating these cars, a street circuit, a high-paced street circuit. Not the fastest, but, it's wide enough to accommodate all these cars to allow close
racing and overtaking. Yeah.
Exactly. Something that we used to experience at Monaco a lot. That's why it's so iconic. But with the big cars, squeezy, Monaco has kind of fallen off.
Yeah, I agree. We had a bunch of people. I wouldn't say who.
Talk to them, man.
No. We had a bunch of people who are like, no, Vegas won't pop. Vegas won't be a good race. But hey, I think the proof is in the pudding.
Exactly.
Wait, how many years are we expecting to be?
10, at least 10
years. For the next 10 years.
Yeah, at least 10, yeah.
Vegas,
and they renewed that contract even before the first race happened, isn't it?
I'm not really sure about that, but hey, you're the man with the stats. Tell us.
Okay, that's there was an extension. I don't remember for how long, but it happened even before the race the first race happened. So it's like they were very confident.
They were really
The only problem is for like, you see the cheapest ticket from Friday, Thursday. Those times were weird. But for FP1 and FP2,
Thursday East African time.
yeah. So those were the cheap. Those were like the cheapest tickets you could get to go there. They went there, didn't get to witness FP1, waited for 6 hours.
But
FP2.
before we get into the FP1 saga or the free practice saga, as I wanted to call it, before we get there, what did you make of it? Was it a success story? Was Vegas a success?
The race was very good, but we have to wait for the others because if you remember Baku, the first race was very awful, the second was very good, and also the first race of Jeddah was fantastic. The second one wasn't as good. So I'll reserve my comments after like 3 or more races. 3 years. Wait for 3 years. I'll give my thoughts.
Okay, if you were to play devil's advocate, both of you, this is a question to both of you. If you were to play the devil's advocate, what would you say was the reason behind some of the guys being anti-Vegas? What compelling reason would you give to not want to watch a Las Vegas GP?
Well, I'll be controversial. There's no particular reason from the guys who are anti-Vegas. It's cult-like behavior.
It's 3 races in US. I think that's the main one.
Well, it's this negativity hasn't just been towards Vegas, Las Vegas GP, but all American races.
Even Miami.
Well, we all know that whenever we have a race weekend at the USA, they usually put on a show. Like Qatar, they usually have the cheerleaders,
The wanaitwa so sorority girls ama wanaitwa nini?
I stopped watching those.
Just saying.
Yeah, but we've always had a show at every race that's being held at the US. So the same energy, guys were like, hey, I think two is already enough. Now when you are giving us 3, now it's like, nah, this is too much.
I'll be honest. I'm pro diversity. But I think the hate towards some of these GPs was unwarranted.
Facts.
Everybody deserves a chance.
I agree.
And Vegas got their shot. And to me, they delivered.
Facts.
They delivered. They exceeded my expectations personally. The prep for the race was really nice. The hype was there. They put on a show. And, cliche American for them to put on a show.
Yeah.
And, hey, I'll be honest with you guys. I enjoy their shows.
Hey.
I enjoy their shows.
What? Like
Thursday
the opening
morning?
ceremony?
Everything.
Yeah. What?
Everything they
lovely.
do.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's not to enjoy? Listen, I'm not trying to wake up in an F1 weekend and just watch free practice, qualifying, and it's over. Show me something else.
I loved it.
Listen,
You
show
did?
me something. I'm not going to the event, yeah? Show me something else. I want to see this, the intros, maybe some cameos. I want to see that thing. Put on a show for us because, hey, listen, we are paying good money pale F1 TV.
Yeah. Are you paying good money pale for TV?
Unanitroll juu subscription yangu imeisha. Subscription yangu imeisha. I'm not renewing it. We only one race left. Lakini okay, sawa. We are paying good streaming data. Pale
Data
illegal
is
sites.
expensive.
Data is expensive from Kenya. Yeah, it's very expensive. But anyway, that aside, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's really nice to see some of these things out of the norm and experience them.
Hey, Friday morning, I won't even lie. That made my entire Friday.
Read. Okay.
Just
okay,
waking up, performances, you know.
Yeah.
And Hamilton was asked whether he's going to go there, and he said no. He has better things to do for the opening ceremony.
Don't you think maybe he would be penalized if he didn't show up?
No, I don't think
would. He would.
He showed up.
As in, if you don't show up,
Yeah.
Okay, so all drivers usually have a schedule. And
Did he show up in the opening ceremony?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Oh, me, I didn't even watch it because I
Stop hating my guy.
If you don't show up, or if you show up late, you can either be reprimanded or you can get a fine.
I think it's also breach of contract to some degree because these drivers are actually under contract to do for certain obligations. And showing up for Formula One events is part of the obligations you are expected to
okay.
to carry out. But that aside, FP1 came and it was nothing short of dramatic.
Vegas, baby.
It was nothing short of dramatic. And in an event, or in an event where Ferrari seemed to have...
What?
Listen, how do I put it? In an event where Ferrari seemed to have gotten everything right. Because, hey, listen, their car was flying. They were topping the time charts before the incident. Something just had to go wrong. But this time, it wasn't Mr. Unlucky Charles Leclerc who was actually on the receiving end of bad luck. It was our chili pepper, yeah? The man from Mumbai, India. Kapoor Singh himself. So Carlos Sainz was actually on the receiving end of a very dangerous... how do I put it? His car was actually ripped apart by a manhole that loosened up.
It went through the car. It wasn't a manhole, it was like a cover.
I should have prepared myself better for this. The wording is completely off. I don't know. Okay, so his car raced past a manhole, and the manhole caused damage to the floor of his car.
It was sucked upward.
Yeah.
It went even, it reached his chair. His seat. Yeah.
He could have been...
Shafted.
Hey.
Yeah, he could have been impaled. Shafted is what... Yeah, man, come on. But
it has happened.
Impaled and shafted, same thing, you know?
Keep it PG, man.
Yeah.
It has happened
By
in
a manhole.
rally.
Bro, do you know the size of a manhole cover? The diameter of a manhole?
Yeah, it wasn't a manhole. It was like a drain cover.
For impaling purposes. Do you know the diameter of a manhole?
It was like this
let's
size.
move on.
It was like this size.
Let's move on.
Can that fit?
I don't know. Probably
Cannot
Indians.
believe what he's hearing. But yeah. So Carlos Sainz, there could have been damage which could have been irreparable damage.
I don't know. You know, I don't know. Let me spoil this party. I don't know why you guys are laughing. This is a serious incident, man.
Okay, yeah, it was. Yeah. It was actually.
No, we are not laughing because of that. We are laughing because of...
No.
We are trying to look at the damage.
Stop the cap. You know why you're laughing.
Nah, you said impaled. No, you said shafted. You said impaled.
No, I didn't say anything. I didn't say.
Oh, it's the camera guy.
Yeah.
But serious things could have happened to Carlos Sainz there.
Yeah. Yep.
And I expected Carlos Sainz to be really furious with that, but somebody else was more furious than Carlos Sainz. And that person goes by the name of Toto Wolff, the Mercedes chief. He was very vocal on the incident, and I was like, where were these emotions during AD21?
But do you think Toto is furious because of the damage that was caused by that drainage plug or cover coming off and destroying Sainz's car? Or was Toto pissed off because of something else?
Yeah.
I think he was pissed off because of something else. It's one of those whereby he's just channeling his anger.
Mr. Fred Vasseur was properly charged.
I will be, but in Fred's situation, he was charged because of a different reason. Okay,
Why?
both at the same time. Because at that time, we also received word that the FIA were going to penalize Carlos.
Yeah.
Speaking of the
Why?
FIA penalizing Carlos,
Why?
They were going to penalize him because he used his third energy storage.
They penalized him.
They penalized him. They gave him a 10-place grid penalty.
God damn.
10-place grid penalty for an incident that he had absolutely nothing to do with. And he could, in fact, he was the victim. He was the victim, but he was still punished for...
Do you know what just played in my... You know that video, yeah? You're a victim.
Bro, come on. Yeah. But hey, listen, Carlos Sainz was the victim. But for some reason, the FIA were like, listen, Ferrari went there and they were like, hey, listen, we need special dispensation for the allocation of this energy, you know? But the FIA guys were like, nope. And I was like, what do you mean no?
Yeah.
This was your fault. Yeah. Because you planned the place poorly.
Wait, no. Was it really FIA's fault?
No, it is not FIA's fault.
Now, listen, okay, not the FIA's fault, but the organizers.
Yeah.
It was the organizer's fault.
The entity is called Las Vegas Grand Prix or something.
Yeah.
There's an entity that's in charge of.
Yeah. It was the organizer's fault. And the organizers work in tandem with the FIA to uphold rules and regulations and to make sure everything is up to standard, yeah?
They were supposed to. But they didn't expect the sanction of the car to be that strong to pull the cover up.
If a pundit could expect that, why wouldn't the FIA guys or the marshals or whoever inspects the track? Because there was a pundit just before free practice, saw one of the covers and was like, hey.
M-Pesa.
Killman. It's called something Killman.
Yeah.
M-Pesa.
Sorry if I'm butchering his name.
Yeah. And he saw one of the manholes and he was like, hey, this looks dangerous on track. They should have covered it up more.
There were 40 of them.
Yeah. If he saw that and so, hey, listen, this looks dangerous. If he can see that as a pundit, what's the excuse of professionals?
And
we know the saying, better safe than sorry.
There was a track inspection before and it was cleared. I don't know how it was cleared for the cars to race. So I don't know how it happened, but somebody should have noticed it because they do track inspection.
So what was it? Complacency or incompetency?
M-Pesa.
Pressure? Pressure?
Pressure from where?
The entire weekend they've been running on a clock.
Yeah.
So it's a mixture of there's a part which is a closed circuit or a closed part of the circuit, and then there's also the public roads.
Yeah.
So you have to time at what time do you disrupt
the traffic,
the day-to-day activities at Las Vegas, because you have to close roads, do the inspection, divert traffic or whatever. Maybe they had to cut corners to ensure that.
So incompetence.
I don't know what to call it.
That's what you're calling it, incompetency. From your wording, that's
kuna
incompetence.
mtu aliona kakitu. These inspectors.
Nah, listen. We can't really defend incompetency when drivers' lives are at risk. Because Carlos could have been.
Yeah, it could have been something else. Not just Carlos, because if we're talking about one out of, you said 40.
Yeah, even Ocon was a victim.
Yeah, Ocon and I think also Joe.
Yeah.
Even Joe.
Yeah,
I didn't hear about Joe.
But theirs wasn't as damaging as Carlos Sainz.
They weren't moving as fast as Carlos.
Yeah. And remember, the FIA weren't also going to give Ferrari the money to repair their car. Ferrari actually getting it from their own pocket. So also losses.
How much did it cost Ferrari?
I costed a considerable amount. Fred was really red on that.
They said it's like they changed the whole car. It was like a new car.
Yeah.
That's over $1 million.
Yeah. It was something north of $3 million.
God damn.
And what really amazed me is the point when the cover came off. Because you see, I expected at least somewhere on the rear for it to be pulled up. Mm-hmm. But it was pulled up at where the driver was at the seat. So it means the force was already enough, even halfway through as in the car going halfway through the cover. I
think guys have seen the video with the ground effect.
Ground effect cars are crazy.
Yeah.
And to repair it, they couldn't put the cover back. They had to fill the hole.
Yeah.
And they had to fill it. So I'm sure maybe some toilets were not working during that time because they clogged it. And they have, in order for you to remove that cement you put there, you have to to dig the whole place again and build it. I'm sure they are doing it right now.
Yeah. Well, basically what you're trying to say, if these cars were from the previous generation, that wouldn't have happened. But because they're cars from this generation, and the whole ground effect error thing and everything involved, listen,
it could have happened considering it was pulled in the middle of the car. Most of the downforce is almost between the center and the rear.
Mm-hmm.
And at the center is where it was pulled up.
2019, George also had a similar incident at Baku.
Yeah, there have been such an incident. Even in
what happened in that case? I didn't go looking for that clip.
That one I didn't check. The one I checked is for, I think it was Malaysia, the drain cover. Mm-hmm. If a car passed there, but for that one, it was going up after the car passed. Car passing and then you see it going up. Not hitting the floor of the car.
Well, it was interesting to see, but we hope Carlos is okay and Ferrari's pockets are okay. Lol. But, We hope we don't see a repeat of that again in Las Vegas, especially.
They just need to sell like 3 cars and they have that money.
Or sue their customers. No, not their customers, their potential customers. They always sue potential customers.
Yeah, so FP1 was cut short from 60 minutes to 9 minutes, man.
Yeah.
And that brought about another chain of event reactions. The fans who had actually bought tickets for hundreds of dollars.
The cheapest one was the $200 for the Thursday only.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Now imagine paying $200 for your ticket and you only get to see 9 minutes of action.
Sounds like a good deal to me. Vegas, baby.
From Vegas.
Hey, listen.
Kidding.
Listen. Then the FIA tried to make amends after backlash from the people,
What
social
did they do,
media.
man?
They gave them a voucher.
They gave them a $200 voucher.
$200 voucher to be
Go on.
used within the premises.
Better than nothing, man.
Hey, that's what I said. It's better than nothing.
Hey,
Better than nothing. Because if it was in Kenya, you ain't getting your money back. You are not getting your money back. That's it. How much did you pay? $200? Yeah, thank you for coming. Till next year. That's it. So kudos to
Be grateful. You saw something.
I was
Be
reading.
grateful.
I was reading some of the rants for the people who attended there,
Yeah.
and they were saying, okay, the voucher and everything, that was not the worst part. The worst part is since they had to open the roads at 4, and already FP2 was delayed, so they were being chased out even before FP2 was over. We were told, you'll be charged with trespassing. And when they got the message about the voucher, there wasn't even an apology. No. Yeah, it's not like about the money. It's just how you treat people.
How you treat people.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have seen this. Apparently, there's a class action lawsuit.
Yeah, I heard about it.
Yeah.
From who to who?
The guys who bought tickets and the guys who are unfairly treated and chased.
So the people versus when they go to the courtroom, it will be the people versus Las Vegas Grand Prix.
Maybe Formula 1. I don't know.
Even Carlos should be in that lawsuit.
Carlos.
Yeah. Because the same guys are the one who put that drain cover.
So okay, interesting. Do you think it's something serious or just one for the books?
Well, I think it's serious. That's America, baby.
You say American baby.
Okay, it's America.
Okay, Mr. Joe Biden, we have an admirer here. Anyway, so that's what happened with the tickets. Now, moving on from that, we had quali the following day, and quali was less dramatic. They left the action to the tracks. They left the action on the tracks, and one thing that stood out in quali immediately was the poor performance McLaren were having.
Oof.
So both McLarens were knocked out in Q1. Basically, they were 15 and below. What happened? For context purposes, McLaren have performed exemplary well the past three races. I think they've had a podium finish in each of the past 3 races.
Yeah.
And they couldn't get their cars, not even one, into Q2.
Well, I think the nature of the circuit itself didn't play well to the strengths of the MCL60. That's the McLaren car. So we've all known the McLaren has been really good on medium and high speed corners.
Yeah.
Or medium to high speed corners.
Yeah.
And Vegas, baby. the circuit has tons of straights.
Yeah. Very
and
slow
it also
corners.
has slow 90-degree corners. So we expected
Where acceleration comes into play.
and traction. So we expected Ferrari powered cars to be really good, but we all know Haas chewing tires like bubblegum. So it wasn't really a surprise to see the McLarens not getting into Q1. Sorry, into into Q3. But for me, it was a surprise seeing them not getting into Q2. I was like,
facts.
what? How bad is this McLaren?
I mean,
And-
what does you take, Muchiri?
Yeah, it's exactly what you said. And I think even Zach Brown said the same thing. But there are some tracks where we didn't expect McLaren to perform well, and somehow they were performing well. So we assumed even this one, they will figure it out. But come quali, they didn't have the pace. But during the race was another different thing, which is still surprising, by the way, because Piastri had a good race pace.
Well, while McLaren were actually having a misery of a performance, one specific person aside from Ferrari was actually having the performance of his life, and he goes by the name of Logan Sargent. So Logan Sargent had actually qualified up to fourth, but the other guys came in and he ended up at P6 or P7. I'm not really sure. But he had one performance that, could actually save his job at Williams. He had one performance that actually,
I thought that is the one race he would out qualify Albon.
He did actually.
No.
Albon
Albon has 100% record of out qualifying Logan.
Why did you think that was the one race he would out qualify Albon?
Okay, other than it being a home race, when he put that car when you're watching Q3, when I saw the position and I knew this is a chance, because I didn't think Albon could do that better, and I didn't think people would improve. Remember, even Checo didn't think people would improve, and he stayed in the garage, and that's how he got knocked out of Q2. Yeah. So I didn't expect cars to improve that much, but I was surprised to see a lot of guys improved.
The track evolution was crazy.
Yeah.
That, and also because the temperatures were really it was actually really cold. Well, they've been saying it might go as low as 16 degrees Celsius, but the lowest I think I saw was 13, 14, which wasn't really low. But we could see right from FP1, the 9 minutes, even to in FP2, we could see cars doing multiple laps.
Trying to warm up the
tires. They were really aggressive on the tire prep. So in qualifying, if you either had the wrong plan, you maybe came out too early or came out late, then you basically got yourself eliminated.
Well, that's what happened. And as usual, the Ferraris were looking fast and they secured pole position. And I have a question for you guys with Ferrari securing that pole position. Is Leclerc the greatest one-lap driver of all time?
Of all time? Yeah. Too early. Let him get a championship first.
I'm actually now getting to all time, because this guy
he's spectacular, man.
One lap, bro. One lap,
he's lethal.
Yeah. I always say when things are perfect, you can't beat Charles.
Yeah.
But if there are curveballs, problems.
If there's even the slightest chance of curveballs, you'll still beat him, because this guy seems to be unlucky as fuck.
He's a quali monster, man.
But in quali, nobody can hang with Charles. Charles stands on business when it comes to quali. And with that, we move straight into the race. And the much anticipated race, the Vegas GP. I was there waiting for it very early in the morning, 9 a.m.
Oh, yeah, it was 9.
Yeah, 9 a.m.
Quali is the one which was at 11.
This is Kenyan time, by the way, East African time, 9 a.m. We were having a blast.
Oh, can you give a shout out to the Australians? They watched that race at the correct time for the first time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, they watched it in the afternoon the way we are used to watching it in the afternoon.
Oh, hey, give a shout out to some houses.
That is it. It only happens in Japan and the Australia race, and now the Vegas.
Yeah.
So that was like a gift for them.
Okay. Yeah. They're used to wee hours of the night and odd hours in the day.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it was really highly anticipated. I was really looking forward to it, and it did not disappoint, because immediately the lights went out. We had an incident on turn 1. Max Verstappen forcing Charles Leclerc off the track. And I was like, God
Good
damn.
move, Max. Good move.
I was like, God damn.
Who didn't expect Max to do that? I don't even Charles himself. He said that is what he expected.
Premeditated.
That
was premeditated.
Max knew he was going to take a long curve into that corner. He wasn't going to take the short curve. He was going to take the long curve and force Leclerc out, because it was an in-turner. It was a left-hander, and they were starting that way. And he decided, listen, I'm going to take my time. I'm going to take my sweet time making this corner, so that Leclerc will actually break and let me pass into.
I was watching the onboard, and Max didn't even attempt to turn the wheel to the left. He was like, Captain Ambele, let's just go all over straight. I'm running you off the track, mate.
Exactly. And that's, that's...
But do you think they put the pole position at the wrong position? That's what I think so.
I will argue that, yeah. I'd argue that.
It is a very short run to that corner, and whoever has in the inside has the advantage.
Quick question.
Yeah.
What determines where the position of the pole sitter will be? Is it
racing line?
The racing line.
Yeah.
So that means the cleaner side of the track.
Yes. That's where... Yeah, but for this particular track, now, it's more or less the same argument Carlos had. There's an exemption to the rule.
Mm-hmm.
They could have had remember what he said? If
sometimes
Max qualifies in the second row or first row is like a pole because of they have aced their stats.
That's Spa. That was Spa.
Even
I think Spa.
Even Cotta has a reputation for that.
Yeah, even Cotta. Yeah. So during the post race interview, they said that Charles said that he is used to that from Max. He knows Max very well, how he raced, even from the early days.
Go-karting years.
Yeah, and he knew he was gonna do that. And what Max did is like
it.
What Max did was like, you have the theory when you come into a cell, the first thing you do is you beat up your even your cellmate. Even without being provoked, just to establish that is, this is what is going to be happening from now on henceforth.
Just to establish a position.
Yeah, that is what Max did by that turn one, running off, Charles off, and
But listen,
there's a line
in turn one.
There's a line that Race usually uses. Jua
mnyonge wako. Jua mnyonge wako.
I freaking love that line.
Jua mnyonge wako. Yeah, definitely. Jua mnyonge wako. And I was watching the race and I was watching the highlights again. And I was like, if I was Charles in that situation and me and Max, listen, I'm not afraid to go with Max toe-to-toe. Yeah? I'm going with him toe-to-toe. Tunaenda na yeye. I'm dying with him. You see. But once I launch, because I won't lie, yes, the Red Bull had a good start, but the Ferrari has a good start too. Has an equally good start. Yeah? So I'm actually blocking his line.
Who, Max's line?
Yeah. I'm in front, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're going to the inside.
Yeah, I'm going to the inside so that he can try to come to the outside, which will take more time for him. Listen, it's a short distance to that turn. Mm-hmm. It will take him more time to overtake me.
But wouldn't that compromise your line?
It will only compromise my line in the first three turns.
Who was behind Charles?
I think it was George.
It was George.
Yeah. And
George was actually going for the lead. Yeah, George would have gone for the lead.
If George goes for the lead, he's actually fighting for it with Max. Once I have the inside line, the next one is an outside line. It's an outside. I'll have an outside with the next one. I'll have an outside corner take with the next one. Yeah. With that, Max and George are still fighting for it because Max and George, listen, things can get ugly between them too, and we'll talk about it again. But it's one of them. If I was Charles Leclerc, I'm looking at my gambles. I'm looking at my options. If I already know Max will try and do this to me, I'm already trying to find a solution for that before it even happens.
Let me introduce you to some dark arts. Between Max and Charles, who do you think had the shortest distance to the apex?
Charles.
No.
Okay.
Charles. Nope. Why wasn't it Charles?
Charles has to go diagonal.
He has to go around.
Yes. Yeah. Max has to go straight.
Yeah.
Okay, for context for the listeners and the viewers, the apex is the middle of the corner. Where the turn, the middle point, yeah.
You kiss the corner.
The tightest.
Yeah, the tightest part. So, if you look at the track again, remember, I'll actually say Charles because remember, the first car and the second car are always like 5 feet apart. Yeah. So I'm looking at the 5 feet and looking at the distance from where they started the race to the first turn. Mm-hmm. And it's diagonal, but Max has an extra 5 feet on the straight.
Yes, but you see, Charles has to. I'm talking about a tight left or a tight right hand.
Yeah.
You actually have to open the corner. That means you're going to travel a greater distance compared to the person who's just going to go straight to the apex.
And considering Max wasn't trying to take the corner at the apex,
I'd argue otherwise though. But I think for this one, we'll meet on the side. Then we'll actually measure.
But I agree with you in terms of being aggressive. Charles should have been more aggressive. I always say this. You have to know what the other person stands to lose. Max, we know he has already won the championship and he is breaking records and everything, but we all know Max.
Who had more to lose?
Now that you've mentioned it, Charles had more to lose.
Yeah,
so he
Charles
wouldn't have tried. He wouldn't have tried anything that will have
Even
Max.
Max had nothing to lose if you
he
ask me.
equaled the record of Vettel. Yeah,
53 wins. Yeah, that's okay.
That's how Max thinks. You don't think he?
He's not your average driver.
Yes, but we're talking about the current championship.
Yeah.
Max already has the champ. He has both.
But listen,
Do you think Max would crash on Charles because he's on his way, or he will break if he aggressively came in front of him?
He's crashing.
To be honest, I don't think Max would mind crashing into Charles.
Exactly.
Really?
He's crashing.
And let that
That's my take
equally.
Because to be honest, I think Max, there's this phrase that we usually use locally. Kaende.
Exactly.
Because even after Max was given the penalty, what did he say?
I send them my regards.
Yeah, as in like
Send them
it was
my
like an
regards.
FU. Yeah, as in whatever it is, man.
Because he knew.
He knew he'll make that time
Yeah,
up.
he knew. Yeah,
So,
he knew.
But by the time he was pushing Charles off the track, he was like, screw it. Whatever happens, happens.
Whatever happens, happens.
No, he knew Charles will yield. He
that's the
knew
thing,
Charles
He
will
knew
win.
Charles would yield. Like you could tell the way you say it, like you're watching Max's own board and he took his sweet time
He didn't turn at all.
to take the
He
turn.
knew he'll
He
yield.
didn't even finesse it. No, it was like straight. Charles, we are going straight. We're not turning left.
Exactly. And Charles has to turn. It's not the turn that
Yeah.
is going on Charles's favor. It's actually the turn going on Max's favor.
Yeah.
So Charles had to turn.
Yeah.
And Max was like, "Hey, listen, I'm taking this lead in turn 1."
Turn 1 was messy, man. We also had so we had the Verstappen and Charles situation. We also had Bottas, Alonso, and Perez.
But Alonso was very ambitious.
Will you call it?
Yeah, he spun.
Is that how
What
you
did he- what happened?
Is that how you
He
word
went-
it?
Okay, yeah. He I would say he was very ambitious because he was on the inside. He tried to take the corner. He spun by himself,
Yeah.
and then he was facing the other way, and then
Bottas came in and boop.
And that was the first retirement of the race.
Who retired?
No. Yeah, that's the crash that caused the retirement.
Who retired?
No, that's the other one. Nah, we're actually moving on to that one.
Yeah, so we had Alonso, Bottas, Perez,
And
we also had Carlos Hamilton.
spun on his own.
Yeah.
No, Carlos hit Hamilton.
Oh, Carlos hit Hamilton. Oh.
And then he spun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Hamilton got a puncture, yeah?
But that was not at that incident. That was later in the race.
Yeah,
But Turn one had a lot of things.
Turn 1 had a lot of things
Cold
going
tires.
on.
I have a question.
a long left.
when we were trying the game, I noticed. Okay, I noticed the drivers now, the Formula 1 drivers, they were taking the corner too early compared to what I was doing, and I was like, we need to do a rematch. I tried that.
Hey. Let me just say this.
We'll organize another event.
Whoop your ass.
Whose asses? You're using collective nouns.
So what do
here.
you think? Is it should they be? Is it correct? Or is it faster to take
Guys.
the apex early?
Guys. The digression, please.
That's
digressing
the
too
only
much.
part I want to know.
Hakuna
listen.
nyuma ya tent.
Okay,
We'll talk baadaye. We are digressing too much. Let's move on straight to Lando Norris. And the Lando Norris incident was quite hilarious to me. I won't lie.
I know you loved it.
It was humorous to me. I'm watching the race. Listen, I'm watching the race. The race is going on just fine. Everything is all merry. Daisies and roses. Then all of a sudden I see this flaming car passing by the screen. Straight into the barriers. And I'm like, what just happened? And the commentators were with me on this one because the commentators were like, what just happened? Is that Lando Norris? Yeah, it is Lando Norris. What just happened? His car just came blazing past into the barricades. And I was like, what just happened? So I'm waiting for the replay. And the replay is even more humorous than the actual incident. Because the replay doesn't even show what exactly happened. We just see a flaming car coming out of the picture, into the picture, and out of the picture again.
Do you know what they explained? And for me, the way I look at it is, I look at it as a very dangerous.
What?
It's you see the way you saw the seriousness in Carlos Sainz thing, even this one, because it is not no fault of his
I'm
own.
not laughing. I'm not laughing. It was serious.
Norris.
Yeah.
No, I think Norris just lost the rear.
Yeah, he lost his rear.
Okay. They
Remember-
explain now. This is where now sometimes because there was an explanation given. Whether that is true or not, I don't know. But they said the car bottomed and he lost downforce. He hit a bump and it bombed.
I also had, I think, is that on 6 or something? But I've been hearing that there's a funny bump somewhere there.
Yeah, that is equally dangerous as the drainage covers.
Yeah, because with the speed and the downforce that is involved. Yeah.
When you're going through a corner, expecting the downforce to keep you on track, and then you lose it all of a sudden because of
Turn
a
11.
bump on the track.
Yeah, just turn 11.
Yeah, but the bump caused him to lose his rear before even he got anywhere near the turn.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the official explanation. Because
because if you watch the race,
I want to bring up something from the past.
He had already lost his what is it called? His rear end by the time he was getting into the picture for the turn. He was getting into the frame for the turn. His rear end was already gone. Something was up.
Because that was immediately after the
I'm not disputing what I'm not.
The other
I'm not
explanation
what
could be he locked
gave.
the rear.
And that's interesting.
Yeah, but I want to bring up something from the past. I don't know. You all aware of the Senna accident?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
It was more or less the same thing.
Yeah.
Just going through the corner normally, and then you just lose it. And there have never been like a good explanation of what happened to Senna's cars, but some say that he lost downforce somehow. I don't know how.
It's one of a lot of things could be said about that, but listen, I don't know much about it to speak on it, so I'm going to reserve my own comments out of respect to one of the greatest ever. So that went on for a bit, and Max, there was a point where Charles was in the lead after Max went to serve his penalty in the pit lane. And Charles took the lead and everything was merry, and the distance was looking good and everything. Then all of a sudden, they bring out the safety car. An incident involving, was it Bottas again?
I don't remember what actually brought the first. You're talking about the first safety car?
The second one.
It wasn't debris. I think we had some debris on the track after. I think it was George and Max.
Yeah. They had Max lost.
Was it the George and Max incident that brought out the second safety car?
Even me, I'm not sure.
No, I
just know there was a second safety car.
Yeah, the second safety car, the one that impacted Charles.
It was a George and Max.
That
collecting that debris of Max.
Yeah, we had tons of debris around that couple.
No, I'm not really sure if that's. I thought that was just a yellow flag, because there was a yellow flag for the first incident in turn 1. There was a yellow flag. Then there was a safety car. Then there was an incident somewhere in between the race where a few drivers touched. And there was a second safety car. And this second safety car actually bunched the group together when Leclerc had actually amassed a sustainable lead to win him the race. So the group was bunched together again, and Leclerc was there for the picking from Max Verstappen. So
I think you're getting this mixed up. Because I remember after the first safety car, after the turn 1 incident, we had a couple of guys who had to come in to change their front wings, and I remember a few guys also put on their hats. Yeah.
It was a free pit stop.
Yes. And when the second safety car came out, we had the guys who are behind Charles. Some of them pitted, but the guys who are on hards, Akina, Checo, Ocon, and the crew, didn't
Sainz.
Yes, they didn't pit. So that's how they actually gained their positions. Because I remember there was a time it was Charles and Checo. Then now when you had the last safety car, now Charles didn't pit, but Checo already had gained some positions.
Yeah.
He pitted. He had, I think it was five lap fresher tires, and he was able to at least chase Charles Ukombele somewhere there. And Max now was just coming through the field. Getting there.
I'm not saying Max was there, or Charles was there for the picking from Max. More like Checo, because Checo now kind of pulled into him, and it was like, hey, listen, race is on, and that Red Bull is hella fast. We have to call it what it is. The RB19 is one beautiful.
Max changed the angle of the rear wing.
Yeah, less drag. You're trying to go for the less.
Rear wing or during the race?
Before the race.
Oh, okay.
He changed the angle.
He readjusted his rear wing.
Checo didn't, so that's why he wasn't.
Checo's running a substantially higher wing.
He was running the same as in they were running the same up to qualifying, but after qualifying, Max changed. Checo didn't.
I was supposed to ask, isn't that illegal though?
Changing the angle of the wing, no.
Is
You
it?
can,
You can change your front
even you
end,
can change during the race for the front one, lakini.
Yeah, the front flap.
Okay, so yeah, that happened, and Charles Leclerc was battling for his life at the front of the grid. He had no backup because his compatriot was given a 10-place grid penalty, and he was there languishing with the fellows at the back. Akina wanaitwaje? These guys from Haas. Kina Magnussen, Kina Bottas. Lewis Hamilton was also there keeping him company huko nyuma. A lot of guys huko nyuma. Surprisingly though, he was trying to make up some places, but there was a DRS train from I think P8. P8 all the way to P15. There was one hell of a DRS train up. Basically, a DRS train is whereby you can't overtake ni traffic jam ya F1. You're racing in traffic. Muko tu hapa. Munafuatana. You can't do anything about it. You just have to stay there. And it was one frustrating evening for Carlos Sainz because he felt unfairly or harshly treated by the FIA. And he was also on the verge of his car heating up and actually, retiring from the race because, he wasn't getting clean air in and his engines weren't getting the cool air to cool the air.
I remember there was a radio message from his race engineer like, hey, you have to back off and cool that car.
Or we bring you in.
We are going to retire the car. Carlos was like, yeah, I got it. And then he made the overtake. So I was wondering, like, was he managing his tires?
Nah.
Because after he was told by his race engineer, you either need to make the pass or as in cool the car, make the pass, cool the car, or cool the car, don't make the pass, or we are going to retire you. Then, less than, I think it was a few corners later, then we see Carlos making the pass.
Yeah, but it's one of them whereby you kind of understand Carlos. He was actually a bit edgy. I'd also be a bit edgy if whatever happened to him happened to me. In fact, he was actually keeping his cool better than me because, it was just the system against him.
He didn't say the famous please.
No.
Nah, this one was
This time they
maybe he
didn't
did, but because when they were issuing the penalty, he was out of the car already. So
Yeah,
maybe he did.
yeah.
Maybe he did. We don't know about it. So anyway, there was also another brushing of shoulders between Russell and Max. A similar situation from turn 1, but didn't happen at turn 1 though. But it was a quasi-similar situation because this time round, Russell decided to turn into Max. And hey, listen, we held a quick chat on the group and we wanted to hear people's voice on this. And we have an avid supporter of Max, shout out to her. An avid supporter of George, shout out to her, trying to give us perspective on the George situation, that George owned the racing line, George was there first and this and that and that. And the driver who gets to the corner first actually is one who gets the first pass,
Owns the corner.
Whatever gets first pass or whatever. But that wasn't the case with the Russell and Max situation. Russell was, turning in and Max was there to stay. Max wasn't backing off because any other driver is braking, trying to avoid that contact, but not Max. So I think George lost his front wing.
No, Max did.
Max did. Max lost his front wing.
Was it the front wing?
The front wing end plate.
You see the way the wing is, then that sharp thing, that's the one he lost. So
George also had some floor damage.
Yeah. Nothing too significant to affect the rest.
But what happened to Max's car, I think they should just keep it like that because that guy was, after that, he was flying.
They had a really good car.
He caught up to...
We didn't have a good car.
See, he pitted. I think he pitted.
First,
he asked them to change his tires, but they were no, the tires are good, keep going.
Bro, did you...
Then he pitted, and they checked it out, and they were like, it's okay, nothing.
Did you see how quick the RB19 chewed its medium tires in the first stint?
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Even
one time you're seeing...
We got to see Max being overtaken on track.
One time you're seeing the gap...
because of that.
The gap to Charles is 2.8. You sip some tea, unaangalia juu, you bite your toast. Ala, it's 1.7. You're like, wait, what? Kidogo, 0.8. Kidogo.
That was me towards the end of the race. That was me towards the end of the race, though. That was me towards the end of the race. But while that was happening to Max Verstappen, upfield, Leclerc and Checo were having a battle. Yeah, they were locked in a very, very, very interesting battle. mid-race. We are talking about mid-race. Leave the battle at the end of the race, but we are talking about the mid-race battle. So they were locked into some battle, and Checo was caught sleeping at some point, and Leclerc took advantage of that.
Yeah.
Actually, Leclerc first lost the lead because, some rookie errors, which, not uncommon in the sport, but they happen and they can happen to anybody. So he overtook a corner. You know how you take something, you overtake it, Sasa. Like he took the corner, but then he was too late in the turning. Yeah. Then he tried to salvage the situation. It wasn't a lockup. I think he was just absent-minded or something. I don't know.
He had a lockup.
It was a lockup.
Yeah. He missed the turn completely.
Yeah, he did miss the turn completely. So he was trying to salvage the situation. And Checo was there to pick up the P1 position and was like, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. But the long straights, it was only a matter of time before the Ferrari caught up with him.
That Ferrari was freaking.
And
he was good on the
very good racing from Charles Leclerc there, because he actually studied and tried to understand the situation and took a deep dive from a long lunge. Took a deep dive, kind of Ricardo-esque, if you ask me. Took a deep dive and actually dethroned Checo from that P1.
Do you have to say dethroned, man?
Yeah, dethroned. And when he was dethroning him, I remember the commentators were like, listen, Checo is trying to slow the race down so that Max can try and catch up.
Really?
Yeah, I remember the commentator saying something similar. I was watching the Sky F1 stream.
When that happened, Max, wasn't he already ahead?
No. I'm talking before Max overtook Charles. Because it was Checo, then Charles, then Max. Yeah? There was a significant gap. So Checo, according to the commentator, was trying to slow it down so that Max can try and catch up to Charles.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Max overtook Checo, then overtook Charles.
Listen, yeah, that's what I'm getting to. Just listen. So when that was happening, when Checo was trying to play it out that way, just before Max catches up with Charles, Charles overtakes Checo. You get me? So when Checo is overtaken by Charles, now Checo has actually dug himself into the hole he was trying to dig Charles into. So Max is now picking apart Checo. You get
Checo?
Me?
Yeah.
So Max picked out Checo and now was going for Charles. You get me? And the commentators that was listening to at the time were like, tough luck there from Checo, because when he was trying to make the team work, he actually got messed up in the process. And after that happened now, Max overtook Charles eventually, because Max and a little bit of finesse racing here and there. Charles was in the picking for Checo. And the race was going on, and it got to a point whereby now, listen, the Red Bull were trying to gun for the 1-2 finish. Yeah? And them trying to gun for the 1-2 finish, they were like, hey, listen, Max, will you try and tow Checo in? And Checo got his pass on Charles. And this is now where things got confusing for me. Because I know Max was told to try and tow Checo and give him the tow, to try and pull him away from Charles. But I wasn't seeing it happen. I couldn't see the tow happening. And towards the end of the race, Charles Leclerc robbed him of his second place.
What happened after Max overtook Checo? He was told to, tag along Max. Okay?
Checo. Tag along Checo.
No, Checo to tag along Max. As now they are going to hand Charles.
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah. Tag along Max.
Then Charles overtook...
Max
overtook Charles. And then Charles made the mistake.
Yeah.
Now it was Red Bull 1-2. So that is when he was told to ease off back, to give, like with a gap of 2 seconds, to give that tow on the long straight. He did. It was like 4 seconds. It reduced to 2. Like,
do you think 4.5?
Do you think 2.1? Do you think Max Verstappen would have taken more time in trying to tow Checo while at P2 than picking out Charles as fast as he did? Because I remember he picked out Charles very early.
Sorry, just rephrase your question again.
Do you think Max could have towed Checo a little bit longer before overtaking Charles? Before making the move on Charles.
That was perfect because they were all in the DRS zone. When Max was overtaking Charles, they were all in the DRS except the leader. They were in the DRS zone. After he overtook, still Checo was in the DRS zone of Charles, up to the point where he lost it, where Charles made that mistake. And then after that, so that is when he was told to ease back to give Checo the toe. But Charles made that spectacular move. He was very good
at the end
on
of the
break.
race.
Yeah, on the last lap.
On the last turn. On the penultimate turn, because it was 2 laps before the long straight.
I don't remember which turn it was, but I remember it in the game, but I don't remember.
There are 2 other turns.
See, that's what I was saying penultimate, because...
No, penultimate is second last.
Second last, yeah. So
it was the third last.
Oh,
before the long straight.
Yeah,
before the long straight.
Yeah.
But yeah, some really good racing there. And, Red Bull would have wanted that 1-2 because they've never had a 1-2. Yeah, that's what I heard.
In championship standing. I mean, in championship, yeah, but not in a race. In a race, they have had so many 1-2s.
We've had 1-2s.
In championship standings?
We've never had a 1-2.
Yeah,
it's Drivers' Championship. We've never had a 1-2.
You never? So this is the first time?
Don't do that. I know what you want to do.
So this is the first time, yeah? How does it feel? I gotta ask.
Red Bull is my team of the day. Spoiler alert.
Speaking of that, now let's go to driver, team, and melon of the day. Who was your driver of the day? Contextually, Salesforce gave it to Charles Leclerc. Interesting. But who was your driver of the day?
For me, it was Charles. He looked solid the entire weekend. He drove beautifully. He had really good battles, not just with Max, also with Checo. But unfortunately, it was his race to lose. Yeah, Charles is my driver of the day.
You?
It's the same. And he overtook a Red Bull 3 times.
Well, you guys won't see this coming.
Yeah.
But my driver of the day... Listen, driver of the weekend, undoubtedly Charles. Charles was driver of the weekend. But my driver of the day was Lance Stroll. This guy got from P19 to P5.
Yeah,
safety car.
P9. That's the same thing that happened. That's how you praised Checo. You were like, hey, listen, this guy got from P, I don't know.
Nah, Checo has been fighting. Checo has been fighting.
From P19 to P5.
Which race?
I'm saying Lance Stroll.
Oh, Lance.
Yeah. Lance Stroll, hey, listen.
Okay, he deserves an honorable mention together with Ocon.
No, I'm going to give it to... Nah, Ocon... Ocon now is a safety car merchant. That one is a safety car merchant.
Actually, you see, if we're talking about the people who benefited the most from the safety car, you're looking at Perez 1 from P11 to P3.
Yeah.
You're looking at Stroll from P19 to P5. You're looking at Ocon from P16 to P4.
Safety car merchant.
Piastri from P18 to P10. So when you say that Stroll is...
Nah, I'm saying Stroll
of the day, and we also have other drivers who benefited.
Listen, Stroll is one of them. We are used on picking. We are used to picking him apart. And listen, we are used to allowing him, or we are used to seeing him make mistakes. And this is one he did not mess it up. We always expect Alonso to pick up the pieces of Stroll.
Alonso had a stinker, man.
Exactly. Yeah. And he also finished ahead of his teammate for the first time. I think this is the first time he's finished ahead of his teammate.
No, who?
Lance.
He has before. I think even from Kitambo, even like I think in Spain when he said tell Lance I won't attack him.
Alonso didn't retire. Was it Spa or something?
I don't know. But even in didn't Lance finish ahead in Interlagos? No, he was.
Alonso was on the podium.
Yeah, Alonso was on the podium. Yeah. There was a race where I think Lance finished ahead. Lance, I think after there was a certain race, like 2 consecutive races he has been having a good race, including this one in Las Vegas.
Yeah, it's that haircut, man.
Why? Because he's growing out his goatee.
Yeah, he's growing a goatee, a beard, Good job, Lance.
But as you're saying, Charles did a very good job. On that braking, like I thought he was gonna overshoot it.
Yeah. I was actually now you see the way you're saying, like you're watching the Red Bull and you're like 2 seconds, 1 second. Now that's how I was watching the final 5 laps. I was like, okay, let's see if he can actually get to. And I was like, okay, 0.9.
Me, I knew Checo would close the door because Charles made that move. Yeah. Some laps early.
And also Checo also made the same overtakes during the race.
Yeah. So I knew the only thing he needs to do is just go on the inside on that corner.
Close the door, man.
Let Charles work hard by going around the outside. And
God
he
damn.
left the door open, partner.
Yeah. And listen, listen. I was taking that P2 with both arms because Hamilton was actually trying to damage control Luko Nyuma, trying to get more points. You know, Mercedes and Ferrari are in the battle for second. And Hamilton was doing damage control Luko Chini, trying to get some more points for Mercedes. You know?
Shout out to Hamilton, by the way.
He had
Great
an
recovery
overtake.
drive.
He had an overtake on that last corner.
Yeah, he had an overtake in that last corner that got him to
That
P8.
Last
On who?
corner. Huh?
Was it Gasly? No, not Gasly.
I don't know who it was.
Piastri or who?
No, not Piastri. It was Abluka.
He had you see that first corner, that last corner, which is like flat out. He had an overtake there, and that. Okay, from the game, that place is so sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Who
And
is it?
having an overtake there, wow.
Who was it? Who was behind him?
Looks like it was Fernando.
Fernando
Nah,
finished.
he overtook Fernando a bit earlier.
Yeah, he overtook Fernando on a straight. He overtook somebody else on that Nini.
Not on the last lap.
No, not on the last lap.
Yeah,
But
Fernando
it was on the last
was
stint.
overtaken quite earlier. Fernando was, you know.
I think it was an Alpine, sorry.
Yeah, I also remember it was a blue car.
Team of the day, man.
I'll have to give it to Red Bull.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing any other team to give it to.
Why?
I have to give it to Red Bull because Ferrari were messed up by the FIA ruling or the FIA decision. And they
So
would
that's
have.
why giving it to Red Bull. Not because they've
The maximum haul of
they
points.
did something spectacular.
The haul of points. And they had a good race strategy. They tried to implement it, but one of the drivers kind of fumbled. You know, I'd have to give it to them. They are my team of the day. You?
Red Bull.
Yeah.
Red Bull.
Me
First
too,
of
I
all,
agree.
achieving their first ever 1-2 finish in the Drivers' Championship. Of course, thanks to Checo with his P3 Vegas finish. So he's now secured the P2 in the Drivers' Championship.
And has he secured his seat next year?
Yes. But Horner and Marco have been saying Perez is not going anywhere, man. Perez is not going anywhere.
There have
should
been
take them to
rumors
their- we should
if
take their word
he
for it,
lost
eh?
P2,
Yeah.
he lost the seat.
Yeah, Perez is not going anywhere. So Red Bull have already won, or previously they won 6 constructors titles, 7 drivers championships, but they have never secured a 1-2 in their 18-year history in Formula 1.
These guys are just getting to legal age.
And do you remember there was a space I kept on telling you? That was something that Horner really wants the team to achieve.
Yeah, and
first ever
last year was a really good opportunity for you guys to take it, but you know,
Perez did his thing, man.
in the last race of the season,
Last race.
And who was he battling again? Who was he fighting?
Charles,
Yeah.
it's coming full circle.
Yep.
Anyway, melon of the day.
No, we haven't had Muchiri's team of the day.
Oh,
Yeah, it's Red
he
Bull.
said Red Bull.
I said it's Red Bull.
My bad.
Yeah, melon of the day, Muchiri.
FIA.
Yeah,
Why?
I was actually going. Yeah.
I know they say that they have to operate under the rules, but I said even in the
No, rules are rules, man. No, rules are rules.
when you don't have a complainant, you can if there was somebody else who had been wronged and they are trying to choose, you can follow the rules, but there was no complainant.
Don't you think Mercedes benefited from this 10 grid place penalty that Carlos was given?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were very much
And they still
against-
fumbled it.
They were very much against Carlos not being given the penalty. They actually wanted the
Yeah,
Carlos.
so there's definitely a few people who benefited from FIA.
That was actually in FP1.
Hey, rules are rules, man.
That was too harsh.
Me, I
Rules
think
are
it was
rules.
too high. They could have made an exception.
I agree.
Okay, me, I would base it on this. FIA, they are humans. They always make mistakes, and they say, we are humans.
How many mistakes are they going to make this year?
They could have made an intentional mistake, like the one they said. They like, what is the difference when they come out and say that? Oh, we noticed we made an error. We are not going to do that again. We'll be more strict. You and forgive us. We are humans. They could also have done the same move on this one and said it's a mistake.
Probably.
But since there was no complainant, they could have. Nobody would have argued.
Yeah. Your melon of the day.
I still stand. Mercedes would have argued.
Your melon of the
There's
day.
a reason. Sorry, there's a reason why Toto in that post practice whatever interview. There's a reason why Toto didn't explicitly side with
Just
Fred.
so how fast Ferrari was. If Ferrari were not that quick, he would not have been saying what he was
Because
saying.
from what I saw, I didn't hear Toto say it's unfair whatever happened, or I empathize or sympathize with the situation that Ferrari is in. Toto was just on playing politics and on some other end.
Facts. I think he's trying to. Anyway, I won't talk about that here.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't have any melon of the day, man. To be honest, I think all the teams performed exceptionally well, considering this is it's a circuit where they didn't have actual track
But
data.
AlphaTauri did poorly. I don't know what.
Regardless.
Track data is a really important thing.
Yeah. So they
We
were
only had
venturing.
simulation data.
They were venturing into the unknowns, and
Uncharted waters.
They gave us good.
I didn't expect the hard tires to be the best race tire. Okay, especially for Red Bull. I didn't expect.
Yeah.
Because of the temperatures.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my melon of the day, I had to concur with you.
FIA.
FIA.
God damn.
Okay, yeah. So one final thing. We still haven't mentioned.
What you're looking forward to next weekend?
We still haven't mentioned. One other thing. We still haven't mentioned. What is the inevitable? The only remaining GP right now is the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
Yeah.
The Yas Marina Grand Prix, which is scheduled for later this week in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. You get me? Where's the yeah? To say my yeah.
Now you're getting crickets. Proceed.
Anyway, so and there is a heated battle for P2.
Yeah.
P2 or constructors?
Yeah, in the Constructors' Championship. Okay. So P2, Mercedes are on P2 currently.
Yeah.
Last year's P2 holders, Ferrari, are P3 this year, but they are only 4 points off P2.
Yeah. Going into the last race.
Going into the last race of the season. And hey, I told you guys, I won't give predictions. I'll only give spoiler alerts from here henceforth. So Mercedes fans, prepare yourselves. Brace yourselves. Do what you have to do. Do whatever ritual you have to do. We are coming for you.
I think Ferrari will have a disaster.
We are coming for you.
Ferrari
P2 is ours. And once you lose P2 and
the next time we
they
sit
miss
here,
out on the 10 million that could have been.
you are the one who jinxed it.
Jinxed what?
You are the one who is jinxing
I told these guys
Ferrari.
they'll have a very bad race at Las Vegas, and they did have a bad race at Las Vegas.
You are jinxing Ferrari. we'll sit
Abu
here
Dhabi
again.
Ferrari will have a bad race.
Hey, we'll have a bad race, but we'll still get the 4 points.
Yeah.
We will still get the 4 points. We are going there to finish the job, get our 10 million. Mercedes to lose the 10 million that could have been. Get a little bit more wind tunnel time. They actually need the wind tunnel time. L15. When it had a lot of wind tunnel time to try and, the last time they were given that much wind tunnel time, they messed up and they brought us the L13.
Oh, and also 11 points separate McLaren and Aston Martin.
Nah, that won't happen.
For the fourth.
That won't happen.
And Carlos and Alonso.
I think Nani will have a good race.
Yeah, that one makes sense. The Carlos and Alonso thing makes sense because they're level on points. The two Spaniards are level on points. Captain Carlos. And
Darth Vader himself.
Yeah, Mr. Darth Vader himself by the name of Fernando Alonso.
Yeah, boys.
You done? We're good?
Yeah.
We are great. Great. Always great having you guys here. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me.
And that was good from Charles, by the way.
That was really good.
That breaking.
That was really good.
It was exactly like Ricardo.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, for those who are watching us on YouTube, please like, share, subscribe. We need your subscriptions. If you want to join our group chats, leave a comment, DM us, follow us on socials, and we'll give you the link. Every Thursday, Spaces on X, formerly Twitter, and on Spotify. Also, please do subscribe and listen in and share it around. Catch you on the next one. It's been great having you guys here. Peace.
Peace out.
Sign out.